Imagine you're at your favorite coffee shop, waiting in line for 10 minutes. Just as you're about to order, someone cuts in front of you without a second glance. How do you respond? Do you confront them with anger, stay silent, or find a more constructive way to address the situation? Today, we'll dive into an ancient philosophy known as Stoicism, which provides a compelling framework for dealing with difficult people. Instead of just discussing theory, we'll travel back to the Roman Empire, where this philosophy thrived. We'll explore how three individuals from diverse backgrounds applied Stoic principles to manage the selfishness they faced. By the end of this video, you'll have a clearer understanding of how Stoicism can guide you through challenging interactions, whether with demanding customers, toxic friends, or manipulative colleagues. So, let's step into the shoes of our Roman counterparts and uncover the enduring wisdom of the Stoics. Before we meet our Roman figures, let's set the historical context. Stoicism began in Athens around 300 BCE, founded by Zeno of Citium, and reached its peak in the Roman world by the 2nd century CE. Stoicism had emerged as a leading philosophical movement, impacting everyone from the enslaved to emperors. The Stoics believed that true goodness lies in virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and self-discipline, asserting that external factors such as the actions of others are ultimately irrelevant to our happiness. They emphasized focusing on what we can control, our thoughts and actions, while accepting the things we cannot change, including the behavior of others. Three prominent Stoic philosophers from this era include 1. Seneca, 4 BCE, 65 CE, a wealthy statesman and tutor to Emperor Nero. Seneca wrote extensively on integrating Stoic principles into everyday life. 2. Epictetus, 55 to 135 CE, a former enslaved person who became a respected teacher. He was known for his practical take on Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, 121 to 180 CE, the philosopher-emperor, whose personal reflections and meditations provide deep insights into Stoic philosophy. When it came to handling challenging people, these Stoic thinkers offered timeless advice. Seneca suggested that the best remedy for anger is to take a step back and delay your reaction. Epictetus taught that when you feel offended by someone's faults, turn inward to examine your own shortcomings, which can help diminish your anger. Marcus Aurelius encouraged himself to be patient with others while holding himself to high standards. But how did everyday Romans incorporate these profound ideas into their daily routines? Let's meet our first character, Lucius, a shopkeeper in the vibrant port city of Ostia. Character 1, Lucius the Roman shopkeeper. Lucius rises before dawn as the first light begins to illuminate the sky over Ostia's harbor. At 35, he has been managing his small taberna for more than 10 years, offering a range of everyday items, from oil and wine to bread and vegetables, to the locals of this bustling port. As he opens his shop, tucked away on a narrow street just off the main square, Lucius takes a moment to contemplate the day ahead. He knows he will encounter a mix of customers, some amiable and some challenging. To prepare himself, he starts each morning by reading a passage from Epictetus's Enchiridion, a well-known collection of Stoic teachings. Today's excerpt reminds him, "It is not the person who insults or attacks who is at fault, but rather the way we perceive these actions as insulting. When someone provokes you, remember that it's your own judgment that stirs your emotions." Reflecting on these words, Lucius arranges his goods according to the price regulations set by Emperor Diocletian. Although our story is set in an earlier time, we'll use these price examples for clarity. He sets his prices as follows: a liter of ordinary wine for 8 denarii, a kilogram of pork for 12 denarii, a liter of high-quality olive oil for 40 denarii, a kilogram of the finest wheat flour for 100 denarii, and a bundle of vegetables like cabbage or lettuce for 4 denarii each. Before long, his first customer arrives. Claudia, a regular known for her sharp tongue and frequent complaints, strides into the shop. "Your bread was stale yesterday," she declares. "I demand a refund." In the past, such accusations would have angered Lucius, but now he takes a deep breath and recalls Epictetus's wisdom. It's not Claudia provoking him, but his own interpretation of her words. Calmly, he responds, "I'm sorry to hear that, Claudia. While I can't refund yesterday's bread, I'd be happy to offer you a fresh loaf today at half price. Would that work for you?" Surprised by his composed reaction, Claudia reluctantly agrees and leaves with her discounted bread. Lucius reflects on how differently this interaction unfolded compared to their previous encounters. However, his stoic patience is about to be tested again. His next customer is Quintus, a wealthy merchant notorious for his arrogance and selfishness. Quintus enters the shop, barely acknowledging Lucius. "I need 10 liters of your finest olive oil," he states. "I'll pay 35 denarii per liter, not a penny more." Lucius knows that 35 denarii is below his cost, and in the past he might have argued or refused service. But now, he views this as a chance to embody Stoic principles. "I appreciate your business, Quintus," he replies calmly. "However, the best quality olive oil is priced at 38 denarii per liter. I can offer you a fine oil for 35 denarii, or the best quality for 40 denarii, as per the imperial edict. Which would you prefer?" Quintus scowls. "Don't try to cheat me, shopkeeper. I know you can sell it for 35. Lucius takes a deep breath, recalling the words of Marcus Aurelius. "You always have the choice to remain indifferent. There's no need to become upset or troubled by things beyond your control. Let them be." "I understand your perspective, Quintus," Lucius replies. "I'm not trying to cheat you. I'm simply running my business fairly. The choice is yours. Excellent oil at 35 denarii, or the best at 40. Both will serve you well." Quintus glares at him for a moment before reluctantly agreeing. "Fine, I'll take the best oil at 40 denarii, but I'll remember this, Lucius." As Lucius measures out the oil, he reflects on how differently he's handled this situation compared to his pre-Stoic days. He hasn't allowed Quintus's selfish behavior to disrupt his peace, and has maintained his principles without resorting to anger or rudeness. By midday, Lucius has dealt with several more challenging customers. One group, a rowdy bunch of sailors, attempted to haggle aggressively over a bulk order of wine. Lucius calmly explained his pricing and offered a small discount for the large purchase, while keeping his composure. Another customer, a wealthy matron, accused him of shortchanging her. Lucius patiently recounted the details of the transaction, even offering to recount the money for the matron to ease the situation with his calm approach. Next, he dealt with a local bureaucrat who demanded special treatment, threatening to create trouble with the authorities if his demands weren't met. Lucius politely but firmly insisted on treating all customers equally, reminding the official of the imperial laws that prohibit abuse of power. In each encounter, Lucius applied Stoic principles. First, he concentrated on what he could control, his own reactions and behavior, rather than the actions of others. Second, he recognized that virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and self-discipline mattered more than temporary discomfort or financial gain. Third, he viewed every challenging interaction as a chance to grow and refine his character. As the sun reached its highest point, Lucius took a short break to enjoy a simple lunch of bread, cheese, and olives. He felt a sense of satisfaction, not because every interaction had gone perfectly, but because he had upheld his principles and preserved his peace of mind. He picked up his well-worn copy of Seneca's Letters from a Stoic and read, "You ask what the proper limit to a person's wealth is. First, having what is essential, and second, having what is enough." Lucius smiled, realizing he was indeed wealthy by this measure. He had enough to live comfortably, and, more importantly, had cultivated the inner strength to face life's challenges with calmness. As he prepared to reopen his shop for the afternoon rush, Lucius felt ready for whatever might come his way, confident that by applying Stoic principles, he could navigate any situation. He can tackle the challenges of interacting with selfish individuals without compromising his integrity or peace of mind. In the next segment, we'll explore how these same principles manifest in the life of someone from a very different social standing. Valeria, a wealthy Roman matron. But first, let's summarize what we've learned from Lucius. 1. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotions, but rather about shifting our perspective on external events. 2. By concentrating on our own thoughts and actions, instead of the behavior of others, we can maintain our peace of mind even in challenging situations. 3. Every difficult interaction is an opportunity to practice virtue and enhance our character. 4. True wealth is found not in material possessions, but in developing the inner strength to navigate life's challenges. Stay tuned as we continue our exploration of Roman society, examining how Stoicism aids us in dealing with selfish individuals from various backgrounds. Character 2. Valeria, a wealthy Roman matron. As the first light of dawn streams through the silk curtains of her opulent villa on Palatine Hill, Valeria, a 40-year-old matron of senatorial rank, begins her day. Born into wealth and married to an even more affluent senator, Valeria's life is marked by privilege, yet it is also filled with intricate social responsibilities and interpersonal challenges. Her morning routine starts with a quiet moment of reflection, a practice. Valeria has embraced a practice of reflection after discovering the writings of Musonius Rufus, a Stoic philosopher renowned for his progressive views on women's education. She reads from her personal collection of his lectures, which emphasize that both women and men possess a natural inclination toward virtue and the ability to attain it. He asserts that women, like men, find joy in good and just actions while rejecting the contrary. Empowered by these insights, Valeria prepares to tackle her day. Her first responsibility is to oversee her household, which involves managing dozens of enslaved individuals and ensuring the efficient operation of her expansive estate. The value of her home alone is estimated to be in the millions, a sum that would take an average Roman a century to accumulate. As she reviews the household accounts with her steward, she notices some discrepancies. It seems that Quintus, a friend of her husband who often dines with them, has been helping himself to costly wines from their cellar without permission. In the past, such selfish behavior from someone of equal social standing would have unsettled Valeria, leaving her unsure how to address the situation without causing offense. But now, drawing on Stoic teachings, she recalls Epictetus's words. When someone treats you poorly or speaks ill of you, remember that they act out of their own sense of duty. It is not possible for him to adhere to what you believe is right, but only to what he believes is right. With this mindset, Valeria decides to handle the situation not with anger or blame, but with calm assertiveness. She instructs her steward to maintain a more accurate inventory of the wine, and to politely inform Quintus that while he is always welcome to dine with them, any wine he wishes to take home must be purchased at market price. As midday approaches, Valeria prepares for one of her most demanding social duties, hosting a luncheon for the wives of prominent senators. Though these gatherings may seem friendly, they often serve as breeding grounds for gossip, rivalry, and subtle jabs. Valeria's luncheon reflects a level of wealth and sophistication that would impress even the upper middle class. The dining room features frescoes and mosaics valued in the thousands of denarii, and the table is set with silver plates and cups, a complete set costing around 4,000 denarii. The menu boasts exotic dishes such as peacock tongues and flamingo brains, each priced in the hundreds of denarii. As her guests arrive, Valeria greets each one with genuine warmth, reminding herself of Marcus Aurelius's guidance. When you wake up in the morning, remind yourself that the people you will encounter today may be meddlesome, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and grumpy. They behave this way because they struggle to distinguish between good and evil. However, I have recognized the beauty of goodness and the ugliness of wrongdoing, understanding that those who do wrong share a nature similar to my own. During the luncheon, Valeria encounters several challenges. First, Livia, known for her sharp tongue, makes a cutting remark about the quality of Valeria's silk curtains, which cost around 4,000 denarii for the set. Instead of reacting defensively, Valeria thanks Livia for her keen eye and asks for her advice on redecorating, transforming a potential conflict into a constructive dialogue. Second, Claudia brags about her husband's recent political success, subtly suggesting that Valeria's husband is less accomplished. Remembering Seneca's words that all cruelty stems from weakness, Valeria responds with sincere congratulations, choosing not to partake in the underlying rivalry. Third, Octavia tries to delve into a personal issue concerning Valeria's sister, clearly seeking gossip. Valeria skillfully redirects the conversation, safeguarding her sister's privacy while maintaining her social grace. Throughout these encounters, Valeria keeps her composure by concentrating on what she can control, her own thoughts and actions, rather than attempting to dictate the behavior of others. She views each challenging interaction as a chance to cultivate virtue and enhance her character. After the luncheon, Valeria takes a moment to gather her thoughts before her next commitment, a visit to the public baths. Despite her wealth and the option of a private bathhouse, Valeria values engaging in public life, another principle she has embraced from Stoic philosophy. At the baths, which cost her just 1 denarius to enter, a small fee for her but a full day's wages for many Romans, she encounters women from diverse social backgrounds. While there, she overhears some negative gossip about herself, likely originating from one of her luncheon guests. In the past, such rumors would have greatly disturbed her. Now, she recalls Epictetus's teaching. If you hear someone speaking ill of you, instead of trying to defend yourself, remember that they clearly do not know you well, considering all the other faults they could mention. With this light-hearted and humble perspective, Valeria can release her worries about what others think and fully enjoy the relaxation of the baths. As evening approaches and she prepares for a dinner party at her home, where a single elaborate meal could cost upwards of 100,000 denarii, she reflects on her day. She realizes that by applying Stoic principles, she has successfully navigated complex social dynamics with grace, preserved her integrity in the face of others' selfishness, and found tranquility amid the pressures of her high society life. Valeria's story illustrates that Stoicism is not about rejecting wealth or social status, but about achieving inner peace and living virtuously, regardless of external circumstances. Whether managing household issues, social rivalries, or public gossip, Valeria exemplifies how Stoic principles can be effectively employed to address selfish behavior, even within the upper echelons of society. Character 3. Marcus, the Roman senator. As the sun rises over the 7 hills of Rome, Marcus Aurelius Quintus, a 45-year-old senator, prepares for another day in the Roman Senate. Despite his esteemed position, Marcus faces a host of challenges, particularly when dealing with self-serving and ambitious colleagues who often prioritize their own interests over the well-being of the Republic. He begins his day by reading from his personal journal, inspired by the meditations of Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Today's entry reads, "When you wake up in the morning, remind yourself that the people you will encounter today may be meddlesome, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and grumpy. They act this way because they struggle to differentiate between good and evil. However, I have witnessed the beauty of goodness and the ugliness of wrongdoing, recognizing that those who err share a nature akin to my own, not by blood or birth, but by mind, and they possess a spark of the divine." With these thoughts in mind, Marcus dons his senatorial toga, valued at about 4,000 denarii, a sum that would take a common laborer many years to earn. He is acutely aware of the privileges his position affords him, along with the duty to serve the public good. As Marcus enters the Senate, he is immediately confronted by Gaius Septimus Bassus, a notoriously self-serving and corrupt senator. Bassus is advocating for a new tax law that would benefit wealthy landowners like himself, while placing a heavier burden on the common people. "Marcus, my friend," Bassus says with a slick smile, "I trust I can count on your support for this new tax proposal. It would be mutually beneficial." In the past, such overt self-interest might have angered Marcus. However, recalling his morning reflections, he views Bassus not as an adversary, but as a misguided individual who cannot discern right from wrong. "Gaius," Marcus replies calmly, "I appreciate your trust in me. However, I believe our responsibility is to serve all Roman citizens, not just the wealthy. Perhaps we could discuss ways to adjust the proposal to benefit a wider audience." Bassus frowns at this response, but Marcus remains unfazed. He understands that upholding his principles without giving in to anger or insults increases his chances of positively influencing others. Throughout the day, Marcus encounters several more challenges. First, a group of senators tries to bribe him with a gift of rare Pharian wine, valued at 30 denarii per half-liter, in exchange for his support of their proposal for a new aqueduct that would primarily serve their estates. Second, a rival senator publicly accuses Marcus of incompetence regarding his management of the grain supply, a vital duty for keeping Rome's population fed and satisfied. Third, the emperor's favorite, known for his selfish ambitions, attempts to coerce Marcus into endorsing an unnecessary and costly military campaign that would bring glory to the emperor while causing hardship for the people. In each of these situations, Marcus applies Stoic principles. First, he politely declines the wine, explaining that while he appreciates the gesture, he must base his decision solely on merit. He suggests that the funds allocated for the wine could instead be used to subsidize grain for the less fortunate. Second, when faced with the public accusation, Marcus responds calmly by presenting the facts about the grain supply, showcasing his competence without resorting to personal attacks. Third, in his interaction with the emperor's favorite, Marcus respectfully yet firmly provides a cost-benefit analysis of the proposed military campaign, highlighting the potential difficulties it could impose on Roman citizens. He proposes alternative ways to honor the emperor that would also benefit the populace. By the end of the day, Marcus has upheld his integrity and may have positively influenced others toward more ethical conduct. As he returns home, he reflects on a quote from Epictetus, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." He realizes that by living according to his Stoic principles, he has made a more significant impact than any speech or argument could have accomplished. Through the experiences of Lucius the shopkeeper, Valeria the wealthy matron, and Marcus the senator, we see that Stoic philosophy provides valuable tools for addressing selfish behavior at all levels of society. These principles have aided our Roman friends in navigating their complex social landscapes, from managing difficult customers to handling political rivalries. But how can we incorporate this ancient wisdom into our contemporary lives? While we may no longer wear togas or trade in denarii, the challenges posed by selfish individuals are strikingly similar in today's world. Let's explore how the Stoic approaches we've discussed can be applied to modern situations. 1. The contemporary Lucius in retail and customer service. Consider Sarah, a barista at a bustling coffee shop in New York City. Like Lucius, she encounters a diverse array of customers each day, some friendly and some challenging. One morning, a businessman barges in, cutting in line and demanding immediate service because he is in a hurry. In Lucius's time, this might have been a wealthy merchant asserting his influence. Drawing on Stoic principles, Sarah remains composed. She politely but firmly explains the importance of serving customers in the order they arrived. By focusing on what she can control, her own reactions, rather than the customer's behavior, she maintains her composure and enforces the shop's policies. Later on, another customer complains about their latte, insisting it's not what they ordered, even though Sarah is confident she prepared it correctly. Rather than becoming defensive, she channels Marcus Aurelius's wisdom. The best response is to rise above the wrong done to her. She apologizes for the mix-up and offers to remake the drink, transforming a potential conflict into an opportunity to showcase excellent customer service. Task 2. The modern Valeria navigating social media. In today's digital world, the social pressures Valeria faced are magnified through social media. Take Emma, a marketing executive who, like Valeria, feels the need to project a certain image. Her Instagram feed is filled with acquaintances flaunting extravagant vacations, designer clothes, and seemingly perfect lives. This makes Emma feel the pressure to compete and validate her worth through similar posts. However, recalling Seneca's insight that we often suffer more in our imaginations than in reality, Emma takes a moment to reflect. She realizes that these carefully curated images don't reflect real life any more than Valeria's lavish dinner parties depicted the everyday existence of ancient Rome. Instead of getting swept up in the digital competition, Emma decides to limit her social media use and prioritize real-world relationships and experiences that genuinely bring her joy. When a colleague makes a subtly boastful comment about one of Emma's achievements, attempting to claim partial credit, Emma resists the urge to respond defensively. Instead, she thanks her colleague for their contribution to the project, demonstrating grace and collaboration instead of getting caught up in trivial online disputes. 3. The modern Marcus navigating workplace politics. John, a middle manager at a large corporation, encounters challenges reminiscent of those faced by Senator Marcus. He must maneuver through office politics, deal with self-serving colleagues, and uphold his integrity in a competitive setting. During a team meeting, a coworker attempts to take credit for one of John's ideas. Instead of interrupting or showing frustration, John recalls Epictetus's wisdom. You are not defined by your appearance, but by your ability to make good choices. By calmly acknowledging his colleague's input while clearly reiterating his original idea, John chooses to respond with grace rather than anger. This not only preserves his professional reputation, but also sets a positive standard for his team. Later, John faces pressure from his supervisor to manipulate figures in a report to make the department look more favorable. Much like Marcus, who refused to endorse corrupt legislation, John must stand firm in his principles. He respectfully explains why he cannot comply and suggests focusing on strategies to genuinely improve the department's performance. By prioritizing long-term integrity over short-term benefits, John exemplifies the Stoic virtue of courage. 4. The Stoic approach to modern technology. Unlike our Roman counterparts, we face the constant distractions of smartphones and the endless scroll of social media. These contemporary technologies can amplify selfish tendencies and make it more challenging to stay composed. Let's explore how a Stoic might tackle these issues. Constant connectivity. Just as Marcus was selective about his social engagements, we too can choose when to be online. Establishing boundaries around device usage reflects Stoic self-discipline. Information overload. With a constant stream of news and opinions at our disposal, it's easy to feel inundated. A Stoic approach would involve selectively curating our sources of information and keeping in mind Epictetus's insight. Don't just claim to have read, but demonstrate that you've learned to think more clearly through your reading. Online arguments. Social media can often become a hotbed for conflict. Before jumping into an online debate, we might reflect on Marcus Aurelius's question: is this truly necessary? Frequently, the Stoic choice is to step back from unproductive disputes. Fear of missing out, FOMO. The anxiety of missing out on events or opportunities can lead us to overcommit or make decisions that don't align with our values. A Stoic perspective would encourage us to concentrate on what genuinely matters, rather than on transient experiences or material possessions. Stoicism and modern self-care. In today's fast-paced environment, self-care has gained significant popularity. Interestingly, many contemporary self-care practices resonate closely with Stoic principles. Mindfulness and meditation. The Stoic tradition of daily reflection mirrors modern mindfulness techniques. Both practices encourage us to step back from immediate reactions to gain a more comprehensive perspective. Gratitude practices. Seneca advised that by counting our years, we might feel ashamed to desire the same things we once did in our youth. This idea aligns with today's gratitude practices, which urge us to value what we have rather than constantly seek more. Journaling. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations served as a personal journal, and today many find similar benefits in journaling to process their thoughts and emotions. Voluntary discomfort. Some Stoics embraced voluntary discomfort as a means to build resilience. Modern parallels might include cold showers, fasting, or digital detoxes, practices that enhance our ability to endure discomfort and lessen our reliance on external comforts. Conclusion. Although the specifics of our daily challenges have evolved since ancient Rome, the core aspects of human nature and the wisdom of Stoicism remain incredibly relevant. By integrating Stoic principles into our contemporary lives, we can navigate our challenges more effectively. We can approach the complexities of our digital age with the same grace and resilience that Lucius, Valeria, and Marcus exhibited in their time. Whether facing demanding customers, managing social media pressures, navigating office politics, or striving to maintain our inner peace amidst chaos, the Stoic perspective provides timeless strategies for preserving our integrity, prioritizing what truly matters, and achieving contentment regardless of external factors. As Epictetus wisely noted, it's not the events themselves that define us, but our reactions to them. In a modern world filled with distractions and driven by a desire for instant gratification, this ancient wisdom is more relevant than ever. As we wrap up our exploration, transitioning from the lively streets of ancient Rome to the digital landscape of the 21st century, we have observed how Stoicism continues to offer powerful tools for handling selfish behavior. Key takeaways. 1. Lucius the shopkeeper. He taught us the value of staying composed when faced with demanding customers. His ability to focus on what he could control, his own actions and reactions, remains vital for today's retail professionals. Valeria the wealthy matron. She illustrated how to navigate social pressures while maintaining integrity in a status-obsessed world. Her insights on finding genuine fulfillment through virtue rather than external validation resonate strongly in our era of social media and constant comparison. 3. Marcus the senator. He demonstrated the importance of upholding one's principles in the face of corruption and self-interest, a skill that remains crucial today. By applying these lessons, we can effectively navigate our contemporary challenges with the same Stoic spirit. In today's boardrooms, just as in the Roman Senate, Marcus's example underscores that true leadership revolves around serving others rather than oneself. Key insights. 1. Relevance of ancient principles. We've explored how these timeless ideas assist us in managing the complexities of digital communication, workplace politics, and the relentless flow of information that defines our modern existence. Unchanging human nature. Perhaps the most remarkable revelation from our journey is how little human nature has evolved over the ages. The selfish merchant undercutting Luce's prices is not far removed from the demanding customer seeking special treatment at a cafe. Valeria's social climbers echo today's Instagram influencers, and Marcus's corrupt colleagues could easily fit into a modern political scandal. Enduring Stoic philosophy. This consistency in human behavior is precisely why Stoic philosophy continues to hold significance. Its insights into human nature and practical strategies for preserving our integrity and peace of mind remain just as relevant today as they were centuries ago. 4. Empowerment through Stoicism. Importantly, embracing a Stoic mindset does not equate to being passive or tolerating mistreatment. On the contrary, as demonstrated by our Roman figures and their modern counterparts, Stoicism equips us with the tools to uphold our principles and address challenges calmly and effectively. We might argue that Stoicism provides an outstanding return on investment. The time and effort dedicated to developing Stoic virtues, such as wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control, yield significant benefits, including lower stress levels, improved relationships, and a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. Just as Lucius discovered that his Stoic practice was more valuable than the goods in his shop, and Marcus came to understand that his integrity outweighed any bribe, we too may find that the inner wealth gained from Stoic principles far surpasses any material possessions or status symbols. When we encounter selfish individuals, be they difficult coworkers, demanding family members, or toxic friends, we can draw lessons from our Roman examples. By concentrating on what we can control, upholding our principles without succumbing to anger, and viewing each challenging interaction as a chance to cultivate virtue and enhance our character, we may find, as Seneca suggested, that willing fate leads on, while unwilling fate drags along. By consciously adopting a Stoic mindset, we can handle life's obstacles with grace and resilience, transforming potential frustrations into opportunities for personal growth. Remember, you have a choice. When faced with a selfish person, you can react with anger and let their behavior disrupt your peace, or you can embody your inner Stoic, be it Lucius, Valeria, or Marcus, and respond with calm reasoning, preserving your integrity and possibly inspiring others in a positive way. As Marcus Aurelius wisely reminds us, our reactions are what truly matter. You have control over your mind, not over external circumstances. Acknowledge this, and you will discover your inner strength. By nurturing this strength, we can confront selfish individuals and various life challenges with calmness, wisdom, and grace. As we wrap up, consider this. If our Roman counterparts could apply these principles in a world of togas and chariots, how can you implement them in your own life today? The essence of Stoicism is not just in studying it, but in embodying it. As you navigate your day, facing your own Claudius Bossus or the challenges of the digital age, remember the teachings of Lucius, Valeria, and Marcus. You possess the ability to choose your reactions, to concentrate on what you can control, and to maintain peace amidst the chaos of selfish behavior. As Epictetus wisely noted, it's not the events that shape you, but how you respond to them that truly matters. How will you decide to respond?